Schizophrenia is caused by too much of one chemical, not enough of the other. And this is what's wrong with me. I've got far too much of the chemical stress, danger, it's called dopamine, and not enough of the chemical that relaxes you and makes you feel alright.
That's for you too.
Oh, thanks very much, Gary.
I did have boyfriends, but I had fantasies as well about the doctors, and the boyfriends never came anywhere near the doctors in my head. Because I was thinking as a youngster, not as an older person, until he came along. My relationship with George is built on friendship. Right, and the nicest part of George is he's kind, he's loyal, and he's a gentleman.
Pauline, it's been about 8 years since I've been going out here. I think it's about time we got engaged to her. Where's your finger?
There's only one reason for not tying a knot or making a date. It's money. The benefits for two people together aren't good, right? Either we'd have food to pay for our bills, and we couldn't afford both. So that's why we're not getting married. But if at any time it gets better, and maybe if we get a pension, both of us, and we're allowed to keep it, then we will.
I'm sorry, boy, turning up on the biggest day of my life, please. Come here to everyone.
She was about 14, and I kept asking people. She was behaving rather strangely, and I kept asking people, and they kept saying it was, teenagers. Oh, the terrible time. I had a terrible time in my teenagers, and I thought, well, I wasn't like that when I was a teenager. Right, that's better. That is already a bit better.
I went right off food. I got very isolated, and I wouldn't mix. I stopped mixing. I started to get delusions about people and teachers in my school and the other children.
Well, there was a boy in the class was Jesus. She believed this boy was Jesus, and that was of course that was nonsense, but she believed that. So that was when we took her to the GP.
Pauline came out, doctor observed quite bluntly, I think it's schizophrenia. And that was a shock.
It would be probably the same sort of shock if you told your child had cancer or something. It was the same shock. Because Pauline was the same, her face was the same, her body was the same. So it was incomprehensible. That's the only word, incomprehensible.
Sometimes feel like I can understand how Jesus felt when he was hanging on the cross.
A carer is classed as anyone who provides unpaid care by looking after an ill, frail or disabled family member or partner. It's estimated that 1 in 8 adults are carers in the UK. That's around 6.5 million people, but looking after someone with a mental health condition can be tough.
It's just the same every day. You just get up. She's got a mess everywhere, clean up. When she goes to the toilet, she uses paper from magazines which gets stuck in the toilet. And so you flush it away a bit, and you flush it again, and you flush it again until it's all gone, and you still got to clean it. Then you go and you're lying there, and it's like you nod off, and then she's got all the lights on again. Then she goes to the toilet again, there's got another magazine down the bloody toilet. This is 4 o'clock in the morning. And this goes on and on and on. And then sometimes in the winter she's got the bloody oven on. And I've got to get up and switch that off. She's not cooking nothing, she's got it on for the heat.
In a recent survey carried out by Carers UK, 72% of carers said they had suffered mental ill health themselves as a result of caring. Ed's not in good health. He's been diagnosed with osteoporosis and has a 3-monthly doctor's note for stress, anxiety and alcoholism. His mother has seen firsthand the strain his situation's had on his mental health.
There have been times when it's been talked about suicide, saying, and I've had talked him out of it, saying, don't be so stupid, But that's happened occasionally because of the stress of the money. He's lost his confidence, so he's had to be on benefits.
When Ed met Katerina, he was a guitar teacher making a reasonable living working from home. But as his wife's mental health deteriorated, pupils cancelled, and he had to make the difficult decision to get her sectioned.
It took me away, and I broke down on my knees. There's not much upsets me. I was on my knees crying for about 2 hours. I don't know what's going to happen. I saw him in the ambulance. Oh, it's terrible.
Pauline's condition became so severe that at the age of 22, she was sent to St George's Hospital in Morpeth, formerly known as the Northumberland Pauper Lunatic Asylum. It was here that she was given electric shock treatment.
They put you out, they give you anaesthetic, they give you that. And then when you're asleep, they put something on your head and they put a shock through it, electric shock through it. It's supposed to help the brain. I think it helped and it cared a little bit, but at the time I was very, very psychotic.
Once she got onto a treatment, and then she went into St George's at Morpeth, it was the going to and from the hospital and seeing how she was interacting and so on, week by week by week, year by year, and I had to come away and leave her there.
Pauline has qualified for disability living allowance for 28 years, but the government has been gradually replacing this benefit with PIP, Personal Independence Payment. This afternoon, Pauline's been for her first ever PIP interview to see if she's eligible, and George went along for support.
I will get it in the end, right? I'll try not to worry.
No, don't just say Tuesday.
My day lasts until I make a decision. She was quite nice, Tracy. She was quite nice. It's just I know them. I know the way things are done these days.
As well as schizophrenia, Pauline has diabetes, a hiatus hernia, osteoporosis, and a permanently damaged shoulder after a fall last year.
And I know they asked somebody that was in a wheelchair and with learning difficulties to go in and have an exact assessment. I'm not calling the staff at that place. I'm calling the government. It's them that does it, not the people that are interviewing you or anything. She asked me to put my both hands on her head like this, and I couldn't reach past her head. Oh, yeah. I was telling the truth all the time.
Just 42% of new PIP claimants are successful. Pauline will have to wait up to 12 weeks to find out if she's one of them. Katerina was given a diagnosis of schizophrenia and remained in a psychiatric hospital for 3 months. Her situation was complicated further by the fact that she'd never legally applied to be in the country, despite living here for over 20 years.
A few weeks later, she's got to report to the Home Office in Middlesbrough. Well, I told them I was the carer. Now, she has got schizophrenia, but they couldn't care less, because, they just said she's got to report. Because I rang them up, they went, she's got to sign on, she's got to be there, otherwise she'll get deported. I was having nightmares every night. Then I started to think, like, why don't you go back to Croatia, man? It's much better than here, man. Look at it, the pictures. Just got a brochure of Croatia, it's beautiful. So why don't you go back there? Just go back, forget about me, just go back. Save all this. That's the point it got to. And she's my wife, you know.
The Home Office eventually agreed to let Katerina remain in the country for 2 years after family on both sides clubbed together to pay the required fee. The couple are living on Ed's single person's universal credit allowance of £411.51 per month.
I've got no chance of getting carers because she can't get benefits. And that's where we need help, is getting her on benefits. And if she gets benefits, then I can get carers allowance. You know, like at the moment, I've got about 20 quid in the bank to last a month.
So when you've had your 2 weeks and you spent your money, how do you survive? And give us a worst case scenario of what you might eat that day.
Well, I get eggs. I always buy eggs from Iceland, £1 for 10 eggs. So I live on omelettes, egg sandwiches. And this is why I'm having to get up in the middle of the night all the time and switch lights off and the oven off. And you get really weary. And you can't do a full-time job if you're up in the middle of the night all the time, can you?
The crew bought Ed and Katerina some food because the fridge was empty. The couple have been reliant on food banks from the local church, and his elderly parents who are in their 80s have used most of their savings helping the couple out over the years.
And so we've always been there for him, because I don't think how he could have survived without us.
What do you think would have happened to him and his wife without your help?
I just don't know. I think something awful would have happened. Every time the phone rings, we think, oh, what's happened now?
I hear people speaking outside. This is the stress. And I think they're talking about me, about all these bad things. And there are always 3 Cockney people. And it's when I don't eat. That's when it comes on. As soon as I get some food into me, then it goes away.
Have you told your doctor about this?
No, I can't tell him. Because I'm worried something might happen because of it, because I've got to look after the wife. If I get put away for 3 months, what's going to happen to that place? And who's going to pay the rent? And who's going to pay the bills? That's my main worry. That I've got to be in the flat, otherwise God knows what's going to happen.
Well, it would be lovely if he could get this carer's allowance. He's tried that many times. Sometimes it comes up, yes, we're going to help, but it never seems to get any further. She's not officially in the country, but she's been here a long time. You know, why treat people like that? You know, it's another human being. I mean, you wouldn't treat a dog like that, would you?
Meanwhile, Pauline's received a letter about her PIP application.
Did I get it? No, I didn't. I got turned down for it. I have appealed, yes, but I might have to wait for up to even a year.
Because Pauline's been refused PIP, she's also had her disability living allowance taken away.
I don't know how long my savings are going to last us to pay me rent, because it's getting to be about £300 a month. It's a lot of money coming out my account. It's evil what they're doing, evil. If you've got any kind of mental illness, you're not recognised in this country anymore. You're told that you're surplus the requirements, it's literally that. You don't have the right to be human anymore.
I've got the World Mental Health Day planning meeting on Tuesday the 23rd.
Pauline has also seen cuts to local support services. Supporting Stars was set up 7 years ago for people with long-standing mental health issues. When funding was pulled by the organisation she worked for, support worker Laura Ellis decided to keep the group going voluntarily.
Not you.
Today, a trip to Edinburgh is on the agenda.
So, like, where do we meet up? 8:15, I heard at North Shoes.
People supporting stars are actually called stars because often they're used to being called clients, patients, service users, all to do with their illnesses, not to do with them. So early on we had discussions about what the group would be. We came up with a name as a collective, we came up with a logo and the design, and collectively people decided that rather than be all these other kind of labels, we can create whatever we want in this situation. So I find myself surrounded by stars each week, stars who are creating things for themselves, who feel like they have a voice. How about you, Pauline? You want for karaoke?
Yeah.
This is coming together.
Stay at home, protect the NHS, and save lives.
What do I miss most, George? I miss him. I'm on the phone to him twice a day, but I would like to be with him. I would. I am slightly scared because I've had one of these letters. It said to me that I was critical, right? I was high risk from coronavirus. Right, and they said I can't go out. I can go in the garden, but I'm not allowed to go out. How's George? George is fine. I have to wait till it's safe to go out. Might be 2-3 months. I still love him. It might be a test whether I'm meant for him or not, but I hope so. I'm cuddling my little teddy bear and kissing him like it was George because I miss George, right?
Sometimes it makes me like cry. She keeps getting picked on for nothing. And they don't realise they've got schizophrenia. They pushed a trolley in her back for no reason. It's a good job I'm not a big bloke. I would have gone out there and smashed that kid to F. I really mean it. That's how I feel. Picking on her for nothing. And she can't go out the bloody flat. She can't go anywhere.
In England, up to 6 people are now permitted to meet up outside. This has given Pauline and George the confidence to see each other face to face for the first time since lockdown.
But I mean, I haven't seen George for 12 weeks. And we've both been in this sort of like shaded lockdown. And it is very difficult when you love someone like our George. You want to be together, you don't want to be apart. It's my birthday today. I'm 57 years old and I'm sick to death of the lockdown, but actually what I am wanting to do is go and see George, so when you bloody want to fuck off.
Hello, Pauline. You okay? You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You're fine, that's good.
You okay?
I'm champion, I missed you although.
Come here. Let's just have a little bit of cud.
No wonder 2 people told me in the shop.
Yeah, we're not supposed to do that.
I seen Pauline come around the corner. That made me day. I got a kiss which I haven't had for a long time.
That's between you and me. Don't tell my mum. I kept my mask on. I've missed the companionship that only George can give me. Oh, I feel champion again.
Oh,
I feel like, I got what I wanted for my birthday anyway. I wanted you.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. Listen, my mum and dad, right, I couldn't have seen Locking without them. Right, I couldn't be in that flat on my own every day for 12 weeks. I would be out my mind.
I've had 2 weeks of peace and quiet as we danglers.
Oh God, forget it, I'm going home.
Back with Ed, the antisocial behaviour has escalated into something more serious. Yesterday, the couple were chased and threatened by a gang of youths.
We were going to the shops. We got to the end of the road and just up, and then all these kids were hanging about. And then they started having a go at us. And then this one on a bike started coming at me, and we had to run in the hotel. There was a hotel, we ran into the hotel, and the manager, and he locked the doors. And then there was this big adult, he's trying to knock the door in of the hotel to get to me. When we got in the hotel, one of those kids was going, "Oh, we've got a knife, we're going to knife you," you know. I'm petrified still now. I'm still shaking after all, that was yesterday, 24 hours ago. And 10 police came into the hotel. And I was crying, I was so petrified. All because she's got schizophrenia. And they don't even know what the word means. But we're going to have to go live somewhere else. We can't put up with this. And you never know what they're going to do. And if one does have a knife, what are you going to do? They pick on her because of her mirror and stuff, you know. And that's because of her condition when she's walking about with her mirror and her CDs. She always has CDs and mirrors with her. It's just the sort of thing that makes her feel comfortable.
With government guidelines easing, Pauline has returned to her flat and George is back staying over 3 days a week. But Pauline appears agitated and says she's having problems with one of the other residents.
I've had a bit of trouble with antisocial behaviour. The way he's going on about me is disgusting. Holds me in contempt. He literally does. Everything I do, everything I say, he interferes with. He's literally telling me I can't even take a shower.
How do you know he's telling you not to? Is he shouting?
I've heard it. He's saying it out loud.
What about when George is there? Do you feel all right when George is there?
I feel lots better when George is there, right? He's a rock. It's when I'm alone, especially when I'm in the house on my own. I'm affected, right?
But off camera, Pauline's mother and George confirmed that the voices she's been hearing are in her head and are probably down to stress due to a recent health diagnosis.
I started not being able to swallow properly and I was bringing up my food. And I had one biopsy, but she didn't go right down in my stomach. Then a month later, I had another biopsy and he went right down. And he said he noticed a growth in my stomach, right? Which he wasn't sure what it was. Then I had a CT scan and they more or less told me that meant I had cancer.
You've got a lot going on at the moment, Pauline. It must be extremely stressful.
It is, yes, very. I'm doing quite well. A lot of people would have crumbled if they've been feeling the way I've been feeling. But I mean, I'm not in a good place at the moment.
What about Pip? Give me an update on Pip.
Well, I'm not sure what's going on there. I've got a Pip appeal coming up not this Friday, next Friday. And I'm dreading it. But I know with all the health issues I've got, I mean, I think I should definitely get it, but I don't know, right? And I've got to be prepared for, like, they might not give us it.
2 months ago, Ed and Katerina made a decision to move back to London after experiencing antisocial behaviour.
I'm still worried about it, and I'm still worried about my wife not going out And she hasn't been out for 2 months properly. Not even to walk down the beach. And look at this. And it's just not on, and we're going to have to move because of the worry. And I've been looking for a place. I've put my name down on the council. And we're just on the waiting list now. It's a very strange thing when you're worried about even taking the rubbish out to put in the bins. You know, I think twice. I look out the window to see if there's anybody there still.
Since we last saw Pauline, North Tyneside is back in lockdown and she's back living at home with her parents. She's had the results of her ultrasound scan and she's been diagnosed with advanced cancer of the esophagus, which has spread to her liver.
Yeah, I had radiotherapy. At 3:20 today, I've got an appointment with the oncologist. I'm probably a week away from chemotherapy for my liver and that. But I expect that to be quite successful. I don't think we've got anything serious to worry about, right? I know it's going to be a bit of a slog for us because it's not very nice. And I'm a bit worried about my hair, but I'll see what happens.
15 months after her first interview, Pauline has finally been awarded PIP.
And yeah, I got the standard rate. And I was quite surprised at getting the mobility as well. Plus, I also, because I had cancer and that, they upped it to enhanced rate, which is the highest rate you can get. I was pleased, but it wasn't a walk in the park. It was quite difficult. It had its stress that it put on me, and I did feel it.
Has your psychiatrist been helping you?
Oh yeah, I had a bit of crush on him. I got a little bit too fond of him. I think even he knows. I think he's a little bit like the bonus now. It was just a crush, you know, like people get.
Oh, you'd better not tell George.
George told me any little crush on his nurse. So we teased each other about it.